welcome to a brand new episode of All Things Honor. Yes, I finally have a free Thursday where I could do this. It's been a hot minute, but we're here. We're reviewing episode number 53, and a lot of things have happened in Ring of Honor since the last thing we've been here. We had a women's TV tournament start, more champions have disappeared, and it looks like Dalton Castle has lost custody of the boys. So let's get into it. So the first match we saw was Ty Valkyrie versus Queen Aminata. This was, I believe, the semi. I always get confused if it's like the semis then the quarter or the quarter then the semis. I think this was the semifinals. I'm probably wrong. It's probably the quarterfinals. To me, this match should have been the finals. Actually, I know that I said that I really wanted to see Layla Hirsch and Rachel Ellering, but this should have been the finals just for the reason of both of these women were undefeated going into the tournament. And the finals would have been so cool because it would have been, the loser obviously doesn't have the undefeated streak anymore. But regardless, this match was really good, and I actually have a feeling now that Queen Aminata is gonna win the whole thing. A, because I accidentally looked at the spoilers for next week, and two, it looks like Ring of Honor is very invested in her. She beat a veteran in Taya Valkyrie, and I don't think they would have done that if they don't have really huge things planned for her. So yeah, Queen Aminata wins in a pretty good matchup. Next, we had Mike Seidel versus Lee Johnson, and for me, this match went a little too long, especially since Johnson has been on an undefeated streak, and like Seidel hasn't been here in I think like a year. Like we've seen Matt Seidel, but not his brother. I think Seidel would be a great addition to the Ring of Honor roster in the future, just because we are looking at more names. Obviously, they announced on Rampage last week that Zach Knight is signed. We've seen him in Ring of Honor a little bit, so we'll probably see him a little bit more in the future here. But yeah, Johnson gets the win and continues his momentum as he's currently on a five-match winning streak. And the current problem with this is our TV champion, if you don't know, is currently facing visa issues, so I know there's a possibility that he might not even be able to compete at Supercard of Honor. So if we don't do that and we don't do like Fletch Fletcher versus Ethan Page, like what are we gonna do? Because then I'm gonna assume that like Page is gonna wrestle Lee Johnson. I don't know. But yeah, that's where we're at. Next, we had Blake Christian versus Commander. This was a fun match. Commander seems to be getting a lot of shine in Ring of Honor. He's, I believe, featured every single week, and they are doing that on purpose. So maybe this is also going to lead to a title shot down the line. Like Lee Johnson, he is also now on a five-match undefeated streak. So maybe next week they do like Lee Johnson versus Commander, and then like, winner goes to 6-0. But yeah, I like seeing Blake Christian on Ring of Honor. He's always very fun to see. I wish we saw a little bit more of him, but I know he's not signed and he does a bunch of other indie shows. But yeah, Commander gets the win. Next, we had an emergency mem, but this one was a little bit different because I believe this was the first Minion Empowerment meeting to happen in front of the live crowd and not behind the scenes. So, Athena says that she has read online that people think that the family is drifting apart and she wants to address the problem. She yells at Lexi Nair for following everyone around backstage and says that her job is to be with Starks and Athena at all times. Athena says that last week Rose took her to the limit, obviously in the 2 out of 3 falls tables match. And ooh. But she was able to get the win. Starks interrupts and says that last week she also had a win. She won her first round match in the tournament against Robin Renegade. Athena says that Robin is not a real competition and she is not going to be able to beat Diamante without Athena's help. That match is taking place next week. Starks says she is going to win the whole thing without Athena, and Athena says if she does not win the tournament, then she is going to be in trouble. Athena says that 2024 is the year of the family, but most importantly, the year of Athena. Athena says this is her show where she makes the rules, and if no one likes them, that they can step up and get out. So the interesting thing here is obviously you see Stark stepping up to Athena again, which is why I do not think Starks is making the finals. I think that she is going to lose the match right before the finals, and that is where we are going to get the eventual turn on Billy again, and then Billy is going to beat Athena for the title. I think that is where we are heading. I think this time they're going to do it in either a steel cage match or a ladder match. If you guys don't know, one of the many, many, many OG Ring of Honor fans would know this. The Ladder Wars was a very big implication in Ring of Honor, so I think it'd be really cool if they brought that back, especially for the women, and especially because this would actually be Athena's third straight Ring of Honor pay-per-view main eventing, and I think that'd be really cool if she did that. If we're not heading that route, I don't know what we're doing. The only other thing I can tell you is potentially, I guess Camille could wrestle Athena, because on the media call today, Tony Khan basically said they were scouting her. Take that with what you want. Next we had, I'm definitely gonna say this wrong, but I'm gonna try my best. Um, Taji Ishimori versus Jacob or Jacoby Watts. Um, this was my first time seeing Ishimori in a match, and I was impressed. And he got the win. This match was quick. We've seen Jacoby before. So yeah, not much to say about it. Queen Aminata cut a promo next. She said that, she told us last week she was gonna beat Valkyrie and she did it. She said that she does not feel great and she is sore, but the tournament started with 16 women and there must be a winner and she will be the one to become the new Ring of Honor Women's Television Champion. And then we got to our main event. As you can see, this was probably the quickest episode of Ring of Honor TV and Ring of Honor history. Um, so during Castle's entrance, the Iron Savages came out and they said they had a surprise for him. If you've been following Ring of Honor the last couple of weeks, Dalton Castle's been basically having a lot of mental breakdowns. They handed over the special sauce as Castle chugged it and became the happy Castle that we all know and love. He said that he never wanted anything more in his life and he got ready for his match against Johnny TV. Aubrey Edwards raised the boys' hands before the match started and said this is a custody battle, showing them off like any referee would before a title match, which I thought was really funny. Halfway through the match, Valkyrie and Johnny TV also took a selfie with the boys to show off what their new family photos could look like if Johnny can win, which I also thought was proper heel work. Amazing. With multiple interferences from Valkyrie, Johnny TV was able to get the win. And Castle was not happy. He cried in the ring. He was so upset because now he doesn't have the boys in his corner anymore. They belong to Johnny TV and Taya Valkyrie. Johnny and Valkyrie actually grabbed the boys by their ankles and dragged them backstage. And this was a pretty depressing day for all Ring of Honor fans. I think this is eventually actually going to lead to Dalton putting his Ring of Honor career on the line at Supercard of Honor and getting the boys back. I actually also found this out on Twitter that this is the second time that Dalton has put the boys on the line and he lost. So maybe he should stop doing that. But yeah, Johnny TV wins, and I guess we have to see what he's doing with the boys. Could be scary. Overall, this was the most nothing episode of Ring of Honor in the 53 episodes that we have aired since Tony Khan has taken over. Like, none of the matches made sense besides the tournament match and then Johnny versus Dalton. Like I've been saying for weeks, we have no champions. It's getting very bad. Again, we are 5 weeks away from the pay-per-view. I understand that Yuta is hurt, so the pure title situation, we don't really know what's going on with that. And of course, with Kyle Fletcher and his visa issues, but also we have tag teams, we have a six-man title, which looks like it's going to be combined with the AEW title. Our Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, if you've seen my Twitter, has not been on the show since December of 2023, and this episode is being published March 1st. So it looks like there are a lot of things that have to get fixed before we get to Supercard of Honor, and I hope next week we do just that. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week as we review episode number 54 of Ring of Honor.